Cal.
My name is not Cal.
That's cool. Whatever, Cal. I'm still gonna make this video. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about South Park, or more specifically, Kyle Broflovski. And I will have made at least 2 videos on each of the South Park boys at this point of time. Yay! Now, in the South Park gang, Kyle is best known for being the, I guess you could call, soapbox Sadie, where he often preaches against intolerance, and along with Stan, delivers the moral of the episode. But that doesn't mean Kyle is a paragon of correctness. I mean, he outright said that Caitlyn Jenner isn't a hero. Totally. But Kyle, at the end of the day, is still human. And that means he isn't perfect. He does wrong things. Heck, I even made a whole video on whether or not he enabled Cartman, which admittedly I feel in hindsight was a poor video, but one whose opinion I do kinda stick to. Kinda. So I decided that much like I did with Cartman, I should count down the top 15 times Kyle was wrong. Either times when I personally disagreed with Kyle, or when the narrative did. So let's discuss, starting with the honorable mentions. Okay, this time around, I have a couple, and the only reason I'm including them is they practically end up on every list, and I don't like to be redundant. The first is the Crack Babies episode, where he only tries to volunteer to feel good about himself, since he saw a really sad commercial and felt guilty. And also, I'm sorry if I put out the wrong message last time, I should have rephrased that. Apparently, there was a crack baby epidemic in the 80s and 90s, and a lot of researchers now agree it was blown out of proportion. Well, obviously, shouldn't do drugs if you're pregnant, just I didn't want to give the wrong idea. But the reason Kyle is wrong here is because he rightfully says what Cartman is doing with the crack babies is awful. At least until Cartman says he can make a ton of money doing it, and he manipulated the system where they aren't allowed to pay them outside of hospital bills, because insurance is also a thing, I hope. Plus, it's considered charity, so there's 0 taxes. Lucky. And he spends the whole episode justifying to himself that it's right, even waking up Stan in the middle of the night just to preach. The next one is the HIV episode, which almost made the list, where it's funny that Cartman gets HIV, but the second Kyle does, it's not funny at all. Which, yes, it's not funny how you get it, be it a blood transfusion or taking it up the hoo-ha, but Cartman had ways of coping. Laughter is the best medicine. The last one is Jennifer Lopez. I'm Latino, and we love laughing at ourselves. It's not offensive. Now, if Miss Jennifer Lopez said she was Latinx, I would have to disagree. Sorry, I don't like being called that. I don't know any other Latino that likes being called that. If you want to be, like, progressive or politically correct, just say Latino or Latina. Okay, time for the real video.
Oh God, I popped it! Oh, it hurts! Oh God, get me off of here! Stan, I have to go home! I need my cream! I need my cream!
Oh wow, your poor hemorrhoid. Try dealing with menstrual cramps and high heels. Cartman sees Cartman inherit a massive amount of money from his grandma, and rather than just putting it away, Cartman spends it on a theme park, Cartmanland, not Cartman World.
I mean, this isn't possible, Stan! How is it that God gives him $1 million? Why? How could you do this? There are people starving in Alabama, and you give Cartman $1 million?
The stress of Cartmanland and Cartman having good luck means that Kyle develops a hemorrhoid and gives him a crisis of faith.
I was raised to believe in Jehovah, to believe that we should all behave a certain way and good things will come to us. But does this so-called God give me in return a hemorrhoid? What is your logic? Ow.
Now, this is why I think Kyle is wrong. First off, as we saw in the episode, Cartman couldn't have his cake. He had to eventually reopen the park gradually for people in order to employ a staff and pay them. On top of that, he hated that the theme park was successful because it meant he would still have to wait in lines. Which, yes, I understand the hatred, Cartman. I waited for like almost an hour and a half at early entry for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, but there's so many ways around it. Have your own separate line for just you, or close specific attractions for when you want to ride them, or use the proceeds from the one amusement park to open another, and use that one just for you.
Kyle, don't say such things!
Why? Why, Mom? Because if I do, something bad will happen to me? Because if I do, your god might not shower me with his blessings of infected hemorrhoids?
And I hate to say it, Kyle, but it's literally just a hemorrhoid. Don't get me wrong, hemorrhoids suck. I mean, I had a fissure once, I can attest to the pain, but it's not a terminal disease, dude. You act like you have cancer. Not to mention that to cheer Kyle up, his parents read to him the story of Job, and how Job lost everything but still kept to his faith, and his weirdo name that was spelled like Job. Like, I remember for years thinking that was his name.
Why would God do such horrible things to a good person just to prove a point to Satan?
I don't know.
Then I was right. Job has all his children killed, and Michael Bay gets to keep making movies.
Well, Kyle, if you read ahead, while it did suck that all of this stuff happened to Job, he still got it all back in the end. Again, it was a temporary thing meant to prove a point to Satan, and he was rewarded for it. Eventually, the hemorrhoid zaps Kyle's will to live.
Your son appears to be losing the battle. I'm afraid that the hemorrhoid has spread to his lungs. He's just given up on life.
Yeah, that seems like kind of an overreaction, no offense. I'm sure a hot bath could have helped. Eventually, Kyle is proven wrong, and his faith is restored when he sees Cartman lose everything.
I wanna die! You are up there.
Yes, he is. You met him, Kyle. Hope your period goes swimmingly.
You think about what you've done.
But first, apologize to your brother.
He's not my brother.
Apologize to him.
I'm sorry, Ike. Stupid.
Shut up, you jerk. He is your brother, whether or not he was adopted. Did you not read the story of Moses, or watch Prince of Egypt? Martin Short was in it, and he adopted all 4 of his kids. In Ike's wee-wee, Ike is getting circumcised, and due to a miscommunication, Kyle believes it's basically a glorified castration.
Chop off his wee-wee? Are you sure? Yeah, dude. It's a Jewish tradition. It's called a circumcision. Dude, that is not cool.
Ew, what do they, like, eat it after? What? I don't know, I couldn't think of any good jokes. So, Kyle tries to hide Ike until after the bris. Unfortunately, more stuff happens, so Gerald and Sheila think that Ike is dead, and hold a funeral, where they reveal that Ike was adopted. But even if he wasn't a Broflovski by blood, they still loved him. Of course, this was back in the day, so Kyle feels slighted.
How come Ike's tombstone has a Canadian flag on it?
Well, Bubby, there's something you have to know. Ike wasn't really your brother. He was adopted.
Really? Did nothing clue you in? Like the fact he looks like Cheese from Foster's, or Ubi in human form, or that your mother wasn't pregnant with him? But Kyle now believes that Ike isn't his brother.
You mean to tell me that all this time I've been trying to protect Ike from having his fireman cut off, and he's not even my real brother? Dude, you shouldn't have told him that. Never gonna find out. Oh, who the hell cares? It's not even my responsibility.
Wow, that's low. First you play kick the baby, even after he tells you to stop.
Ready, Ike? Kick the baby. Don't kick the baby. Kick the baby.
And then you let him get captured by visitors, and then you get him in trouble for breaking a window.
No, Ike, go home. This is it. This one's for the game. Purple. Kick the baby.
And then you hide him far away where people think he's furniture.
Hey, lady, that's my table post. You can't have that.
And then you have the nerve to say he isn't your brother. And then you have the nerve to call him Canadian. Yeah, you deserve to be grounded. Kyle still doesn't think that Ike is his brother, even with some convincing.
What do you want?
Don't you go come there?
Oh, no, you don't. That isn't gonna work on me, Canadian.
Kyle, you strike me as one of those people who think that newborns manipulate you with crying. On the bright side, at least he realizes that, brother or not, it does suck to be castrated. And not just castrated, but done in front of your entire extended family, members of your temple, and friends, while they smile and take pictures and laugh and drink and eat dry cake while you cry. So he stands up for Ike.
Stay away from my little brother!
But son, I just...
You aren't gonna cut off his wee-wee!
What are you talking about?
And you should be ashamed of yourself!
Yay, at least he made up for it.
Oh!
I did it! I jumped over the homeless! Yes! That was a sweet idea, Kyle. God damn it, that wasn't my idea!
Kyle, why do you have to keep bringing this up? It's not funny and it's in the past. Night of the Living Homeless has the homeless come to South Park in droves. which South Park is very unprepared for because they've never been to Newark, or Manhattan, or Orlando, or Vegas. Wait, isn't there a whole underground society of homeless people in Vegas? However, the boys are told that if they ignore them and don't make eye contact, the homeless will move on. Unfortunately, Kyle feels a burden and gives one of them not just $1 or some change, but $20.
Got any more?
No, I thought that was a lot.
Spare any change?
You're welcome.
Which leads to the homeless overrunning the town.
My dad said as long as nobody gave them money, they'd move on. He did?
Yeah, nice going, Kyle. Now you have to have your eyes to the ground every single time you go grocery shopping. You thought the people from the future were bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. But is this true? Well, yes and no. The boys journeyed to a nearby town, which also had a homeless problem, but as it turns out, Kyle wasn't the one to get the homeless to come to South Park. They were sent there like the plague.
They said you could have easily cleared 50 homeless.
He jumped over one homeless person with his stupid skateboard, and he barely made it over that guy. Kyle, knock it off. We're here to find out how to get rid of the homeless.
Still, I'm forgetting somebody. Y'all remember Cartman? You know, that figure who is the antithesis to Kyle? Well, near the beginning of the episode, Cartman jumped the homeless people. And not just one or two, but thousands.
I can't possibly jump this many homeless people. I could jump 2 homeless people, maybe 3. But asking me to jump this many is asking me to risk my life, Kyle. I don't want you to jump that—
Kyle, why do you keep bringing that up long after it's happened? Are you jealous or something? Okay, joking aside, Cartman actually does manage to jump over the homeless and actually do it for reals.
Ugh. Yes! That's 3 homeless! Stuck on that! Honestly, I don't know what you see in this, Kyle.
Good for you, Cartman. Kyle was wrong. Maybe he really is jealous.
On this planet worth protecting!
What do you know about the Earth?
Apparently more than you Claude!
It's true. Chickenpox has Kyle discovered that Gerald and Stuart used to have a friendship, but they drifted apart after Gerald went to college. A combination of bad luck and self-fulfilling prophecy caused Stuart to become a deadbeat alcoholic, with even Carol telling him to stop blaming other people for his own failures.
It's because you are an alcoholic and he had dreams of not eating frozen waffles for dinner every night.
Hey, is it my fault you don't know how to cook?
What am I supposed to do with frozen waffles?
And I know some of you guys told me that Stuart was dealt a bad hand in life, and you can't really blame him, but have you watched other episodes featuring him and how bad of a father he can be? You kind of can. And a big point is made about how he thinks Gerald is only successful because he's Jewish, which obviously isn't true.
But he got promoted, went off to community college, and I didn't. And you know why? Because your dad's Jewish.
I heard that.
Plus, this is South Park. Both sides are supposed to be in the wrong. Kyle tells his parents about what happened and questions why Kenny is so poor and why they can't just help. So Gerald tells him the idea of gods versus clods, aka the idea that some people are rich, or at least middle class, aka the gods, while other people, aka Kenny's family, are just poor, aka clods.
I have a slightly higher intellect than others, but I still need people to pump my gas and make my french fries and fix my laundry machine when it breaks down.
Oh, I see. Gods and clods.
No, it sucks, Kyle. You will learn that one day when a studio apartment in your neighborhood is $1,800 and Wendy's is $20 for a Baconator combo. To be fair, while I hate what Gerald is saying, he's obviously not going to tell Kyle why Kenny's family is poor, and that Stuart and Carol are probably the type to squander any actual help, I hate to say.
That's right, so Kenny's family is happy just the way they are, and we're all a functioning part of America.
Look, I'm all one for charity, but have you seen what they do to their son? He's going to act like it's just a part of our society, and everybody is happier for it, even the people it hurts. But this isn't Brave New World, this is South Park. Now, throughout the episode, pretty much all of the kids get infected with chickenpox. As you guys have been telling me, this was before the vaccine, so the idea was better to get it while you're young.
We're here to have a slumber party with Kenny.
What? Don't you know Kenny's sick with—
That's the whole point, remember? Their moms want them to catch it while they're young.
Oh, yeah.
Catch what?
Unfortunately, Kyle is the only one not to get sick, no matter how much he's infected, so he's the only kid who has to go to school.
Well, class, I'm going to sign you all a paper. The theme of the paper will be how I would make America better.
What? Does everybody have to do it, or just me?
And he presents a report on the idea of gods versus clods, and what he thinks should be done about them. Essentially, murder.
So my idea to make America better is put all the poor people into camp. If we get rid of them, there will be nothing but rich people. And there won't be any hunger, poverty, or homeless people, because they'll all be dead.
Dang, Kyle, have you been skipping history class at Hebrew school? No, you can't do this. Who is gonna fix your washing machine and cook your french fries? Your mom? Well, I mean, wait, no, she can't.
Get over yourself and tell my friend it's just for fun.
Look, what I do doesn't hurt anybody. I give people closure and help them cope with life.
No, you give them false hope and a belief in something that isn't real.
But I'm a psychic.
Why is it that whenever I watch this episode or read the title, I think of that song from 2.5 Men? John Edward, if you're like me and have no clue, is a TV psychic, kind of like Teresa Caputo. Well, to be fair, he was before Teresa Caputo. Back in the early 2000s, he was best known for his show, Crossing Over, where he claimed to communicate with spirits via cold and hot readings.
Is that making sense? Not really. Must be from somewhere else in the audience then. Money, someone...
Over here, please. We have a dead friend.
Quiet down, boys. It doesn't work that way.
Basically, it's a really good magic trick, but it's still a magic trick, and John Edward really has no psychic powers, no matter how much he claims he does. If you want more info on them, Stan explains,
I just asked her if November meant anything. Her father could have died in November, or Thanksgiving could have been really special for them, but I go with the birthday and validate it now as if I knew by saying he wishes you a happy birthday.
Also, in real life, I'm surprised the show did not mention this, he did a 9/11 special where he communicated with the victims of the families. Yeah, the title is pretty earned. Stan and Kyle go to get some advice on Kenny, and John Edward performs a cold reading on Kyle, telling him about his grandmother.
She says there was something she asked you to do and you're not doing it. She wants you to look for 4 white doves.
Oh my god!
Kyle believes too hard and decides to dedicate his life to this random vision.
Huh? There's 4 white birds! This is what Grandma wants! She wants me to attend Juilliard!
He moves across the country to Juilliard, not the cool one that Beetlejuice graduated from, and he preaches the word of John Edward, even after Stan gets done explaining and showing him how people like John Edward are scammers.
I found tons of testimonials on the internet saying that John Edward has the entire studio wired to hear what people are talking about before the show, and he pays actors to be plants in the audience.
You're just jealous he's a better psychic than you.
Fun fact, apparently a skeptic went to one of his tapings and found out that out of the 30-ish times John Edward did cold readings, only 3 of them were correct, which makes sense. His show wasn't taped live. Editing is a thing. At least nowadays, like Teresa Caputo, she could probably look up who goes to her shows before and then just plan for that ahead of time. But as Stan realizes, Kyle isn't believing the charlatan because he's an idiot, but because he's afraid of the unknown and of death, and wondering what could have happened to his grandmother. You know, like most people.
You find comfort in the thought that your loved ones are floating around trying to talk to you, but think about it. Is that really what you want? To just be floating around after you die having to talk to them?
It's true, I can never spend an eternity talking to Teresa Caputo, but a speech from Stan helps to calm him down.
You're right, Stan. My grandma isn't floating around, judging me and watching what I do. She's dead. Dead and gone forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's the evil power?
Oh my god! The identity of the evil power won't be revealed until all Chimpokemon are collected by a Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
What?
You know, I have been looking for an excuse to talk about this episode again. I guess Kyle majorly screwed up here. The boys discover Pokemon, back when everybody assumed it was going to be a pointless fad, and not a franchise that exists to this day. I even do a panel about it at cons. The boys are caught up in it, and being satire, the thesis of Chimpokemon is, you got to buy it, Chimpokemon. Or you aren't as cool. You're a nerd, a geek, a creep, and a baby, and not in a good way. So how does this relate to Kyle? Well, at first, Kyle doesn't want to get caught up in the fad, because, it's just a fad, meaning everybody will soon move on.
You
don't appear to have any Chimpokomon.
No, but look, I just got this sweet cyborg Bill doll.
Oh, please, Cyborg Bill is so yesterday. Yeah, like ancient history.
However, he soon realizes that if he wants to fit in, he must conform. Conformity is cool! Conformity is cool! Conformity is cool! His parents try to convince him otherwise, with Gerald even saying,
You don't have to be a part of it. In fact, you can make an even stronger statement by saying to your peers, I'm not going to be a part of this fad because I'm an individual.
Something tells me that with how tone-deaf Gerald was in Chickenpox, that he was a bully back in his day. I have a sneaky, leaky feeling. However, Kyle counters,
Now let me tell you how it works in the real world. In the real world, I can either get a Chimpokomon, or I can be the only kid with that one, which singles me out and causes the other kids to make fun of me.
It's amazing how true that is. But Kitty, this is a video about Kyle being wrong, and so far, he's right. I'm getting to that, Catherine. God. As it turns out, Chimpokomon isn't meant to make money. It's meant to brainwash American children against their American parents, and serve the Japanese government, and finish what they started in Pearl Harbor. Wait, what?
Huh?
Stan, please, come home!
So ironically, if Kyle just stuck to his usual viewpoint of being an outsider when it comes to popular opinions, he probably could have saved himself, but no. What's funnier is that the grown-ups are able to undo the brainwashing by playing along. Literally. Because then it'll seem uncool and they'll move on to something else.
You like it?
I think Chimpokoman is Chimpokerific. I got shoe.
Come on, Eric. Let's try to battle your Rooster with my Donkeytron.
No, that's okay, man.
Joke's on you. I would have loved if my parents loved the same stuff I did as a kid. Hey, that rhymes. Or does it? My rhyming concept is as extinct as a dodo. Actually, one time my aunt stole my diamond and pearl, and she played, and for the longest time, I had a rose raid named after her. It was so cute. Still, this works on everybody but Kyle, who was still wrong.
But I'm gonna be Royal Crown Chimpoko Master!
Dude, Chimpokomon isn't cool anymore.
What?
Yeah, dude, that's way over.
You're just jealous because I'm Chimpoko Master.
Kyle, you can't do that. But at least you aren't following the crowd.
But if I stop now, I'd just be going with the group again. So to be an individual, I have to bomb Pearl Harbor. See ya.
Oh.
Liz, I hate to say it, but couldn't you just like Chimpokomon and not bomb Pearl Harbor? They aren't mutually exclusive. But hey, that's just my preference.
Well, Kyle?
I'm sorry. What was that? I couldn't quite make that out, Cap. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me explain. This episode involves Cartman learning about Tourette's, or how stereotypically Tourette's is considered a cursing disease, where you curse every couple of seconds, which, as the episode points out, doing this...
Well, I think we can all put this behind us now.
Feed the fish. Feed the fish.
which is medically called coprolalia, oh, I got it wrong, only happens in super ultra rare cases. Most Tourette's is, for example, just bending your neck every couple of seconds or making a random noise.
Fun? This really isn't all that fun.
But Cartman doesn't know that and doesn't care and takes advantage of the stereotypical version of Tourette's to swear as much as he wants and providing ample fodder for YouTube poops and edited SpongeBob episodes for years to come.
Hey, Wendy. Sorry.
Of course, nobody, not even the adults, think to help Cartman, like by giving him medication or sending him to therapy or giving him lifestyle changes, so he mostly gets away with it. I mean, even Garrison said Cartman was being a distraction. You think somebody would do something. Kyle tries to tell people that Cartman is faking, but nobody believes him.
He's faking!
Faking? You think people with Tourette's are faking?
No, I'm just saying that I think...
Do you have any idea how horrible that is?
Even Thomas, a kid with Tourette's who actually hates his condition and unintentionally gave Cartman the idea, really hates him.
Dude.
Your mom would not be better off, Thomas. Even if people like Kyle here think so.
Aw, come on!
To be fair, Kyle, I feel like you could have explained yourself better. Like, explained how Cartman is a racist, xenophobic, sexist a-hole who pulls stunts like this all the time, and most of his curses are directed towards Jews, and he personally hates him. But you tried, so E for effort. Now, here's where I feel Kyle is wrong. Honestly, I hate to say it, I feel like he should have done nothing. See, Cartman feels he can get away with more than simply just getting Kyle in trouble, and he decides to go on national television with Chrysanthemum in order to tell the world about his condition, and basically get away with saying as much anti-Semitic crap as he can. And the FCC is cool with this, I'm assuming. However, when you really look at it, Cartman can't spread his message of anti-Semitism. The whole world just assumes he can't control what he says, and he doesn't mean it.
What the hell is going on?
It's okay, Eric. We understand your illness, okay?
No, yeah,
So as far as they know, he's basically gonna go on national television and just curse and babble for like an hour. Not to mention that because Cartman can no longer differentiate between what he wants to say and what's said, he basically develops Tourettes. Only instead of cursing or snapping his fingers, his tick is he says deeply embarrassing secrets.
And I also just want to say that I'm making this all up. I'm making this all up to you for putting up with my mental disorder. I cry at night because I don't have a dad. Ah!
Well, maybe you shouldn't have eaten him then, right? Actually, Kitty's got to terminate him. Close enough. Cartman tries to back out, but Chris basically threatens him to go on television under pain of death.
Be a shame if we had to track you down and you shot yourself.
I just peed my pants.
Samesies, but I think that could have been sweat. Meaning Cartman was looking for basically any way to get out of this. And imagine he just went on TV with his new Tourette's and just, like, imagine.
Please, God, don't make me embarrass myself on national television. You must see how this is all somewhat your fault, right? Please, I need a miracle.
And here comes Kyle and Thomas. They invite a bunch of goofballs, because I'm assuming Cartman still kept in contact with his friends at NAMBLA, and they interrupt the shoot, since if a goofball sees Chris Hansen, they're as good as dead. While I admire the dedication and applaud their efforts, I have to say, again, Kyle probably shouldn't have done anything. It would have been equally funnier for Cartman to have to go on national television, claim he has Tourette's, and then make a fool out of himself, or have to admit that he made everything up and he really has no clue what Tourette's actually is. Heck, he even thanks Kyle for coming to the rescue.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cal. I asked God to send someone to help me, and you came, Cal. I love you, man.
No, I beat you.
You must really care about me.
Sorry, Kyle. But hey, at least one of those goofballs brought old school Wendy's before they overcooked their fries and got rid of the vanilla frosty. That's a consolation prize, right? Yeah, I know.
How am I related to him again?
He's your cousin, Kyle, too. I told you already.
First cousin or distant cousin?
He's my sister's son. That makes him your first cousin.
So we have the same blood?
To be fair, Kyle's cousin Kyle is annoying, and he has that super thick Jersey accent that makes my ears bleed. Like, I'm from Jersey, and I hate it. But seriously, Kyle? In the entity, Kyle's cousin Kyle, I wonder how that came about. I want to see flashbacks. Temporarily moves to South Park when his mother ends up in the hospital, and being close in age, Kyle is forced to take care of his cousin and show him the ropes. The problem...
What do you mean? What room is he sleeping in?
What's this comforter filled with? It isn't filled with down, is it?
I don't know, dude.
Damn, he looks like one of those things you put in water that's supposed to grow overnight. Like, did they ever put this kid in sunlight? Is he like a shrinky ding? Cousin Kyle is basically every Jewish stereotype mashed up in a blender. He's nerdy, he's whiny, he's good at math, he has a very narrow palate, and he's annoying to be around.
What is this?
Mom's special stew. She makes it every Monday, and I love it.
Is this beef? Actually, I can't eat beef. I have a degenerative problem with my intestinal lining, and beef really gets me gas.
Plus, he probably pronounces radiator as radiator, or calls the hairdresser the beauty parlor. But here's why it's list-worthy. See, earlier in the episode, Kyle realizes Cartman will have a field day with this kid, and he pays him some money not to rip on him, which is a hard task.
Oh, nice to meet you, Cartman. I saw that same jacket you're wearing at Bosco's for $29.95. How much was yours? I'm just wondering if Bosco's is a ripoff. Oh, man.
Cartman?
I like when his arm, stretches. He looks like a Muppet. However, while I get the intent, I disagree with this idea. At one point, Cartman can't help himself, so he makes a joke.
In my class, you need to be able to concentrate. Concentration is the key to succeeding in my class.
Maybe we'll have to send him to concentration camp. Ah! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
But Kyle doesn't seem disgusted. Heck, he barely seems to notice. It's almost as if he doesn't care. Maybe because he's that oblivious, he's a walking stereotype so he doesn't know that's a stereotype, or hey, he's heard worse. It's like Kyle paid Cartman for nothing. Not to mention that later in the episode, when the truth comes out, Kyle is disappointed. Not because Kyle paid a bully off, but because of how he refused to haggle.
Kyle, I'm sorry. Because, I really think you could have done it for about $12.50. What? Well, you didn't just start at $40, did you? You gotta lowball these things so you have a place to go.
Oh, that's kind of genius. I should keep that in mind if I ever have to buy a car. Wait, can you still negotiate sticker price? But here's where it gets extra juicy. Throughout the episode, Mr. Garrison becomes disillusioned with the airline industry. It's not so bad, but I do hate the TSA. And to get revenge, he makes a new device called IT, which will make airline travel obsolete. It attracts the attention of many millionaires, including Kyle, which makes me wonder if Kyle was actually rich from the start and that was going to be the twist, since he said his dream was to be an investment banker, so maybe he made a lot of smart decisions.
Oh, and I hope one day to be an investment banker. Must fudge need $40.
And in Red Sleigh Down, he acts as Cartman's naughty or nice accountant, so maybe that's also a side gig. Or if he just gave $5 and that was still enough to be considered an investor. I have no idea. However, I like the detail that earlier in the episode, he complained to Sheila about how much he hated airlines.
How was your flight?
Oh, it was terrible. They recycled the air on board and it really did a number on my asthma. I asked them to turn up the oxygen and they wouldn't.
Good foreshadowing. With it, you could get to places in seconds, and you likely aren't going to be traveling with more than just you. I feel like he would very much appreciate the it and how convenient it could be. Unfortunately, the airlines lobbied to get it banned, and therefore, as an investor, Kyle gets a bailout clause check for $5 million.
So I guess goodbye, cousin.
Okay, see you, cousin. Hope to see you soon. Not too soon, I hope.
Yeah.
$5 million!
Yes, $5 million. Kyle decides to move back to Connecticut with his money, intending to help his mother. Wait, he's from Connecticut? And as Kyle learns the hard way, it's only when you have money that people pay attention to you. Kyle tries to be nice to his cousin, and not for family reasons, only for Kyle to say what he really thinks about them.
I appreciate you wanting me around, but the fact of the matter is, well, you people are all just such hick-jock rednecks. It's like you're right out of a stereotype catalog.
He's got a point there, Kyle. Yes, Kyle was annoying, but he was going through a difficult time. Perhaps if you didn't act like he was a smoldering fungus, you could have gotten a slice of that money, or some awesome financial advice.
Dude, weak. Good job, Jew.